Rebbe Nachman, in one of his most amazing lessons, we're talking about lesson 67 in part 2 of the Likutey Moharan, which is one of the very powerful lessons where he speaks about the power of the tzaddik, the greatness and importance of the tzaddik, and how we must mourn over the loss of the tzaddikim, and that we can blame a lot of the darkness and the suffering and the difficulties we're going through in life due to a lack of the light and the presence and the influence of the tzaddikim. And that is mainly caused because of false Jewish leadership, false leaders, what's called in Hebrew mefursamim shel sheker, false leadership which gives rise, and they cover up like a shade covering up the light of the sun. They also cover up the light and presence of the tzaddikim. Tzaddikim never die, their teachings never die, their presence, their merit never dies. It's just that the evil begins to become abundant, and as a result, like a shade, a tree shade for example, covering the light of the sun, that's how they cause a type of a darkness to envelop people, to envelop the world. And when a person's in darkness, it's only normal that he will stumble and fall and fail, etc. So Rebbe Nachman calls the tzaddikim the Rosh Bait. Rosh Bait means the head of the house. Hashem, as it were, created the world, and Hashem, as it were, gave over the world under the supervision of the tzaddikim. They're called the Rosh Bait, the head of the house. The world is called Bait, like the opening letter of the first word of the Torah, Bereshit, begins with a Bait, right? You have a Bet there, which is like the letter Bait, Bet Yud Tav, the house, and the world is like a house. And every house needs a head of the house to be in charge, to instruct, to make sure that everything is functioning, the house is functioning properly. These are the tzaddikim, they're called Rosh Bait, the leaders of the house. Now when these tzaddikim are hidden, there's no Rosh Bait, so it's understood, it's only normal that the world becomes upside down. So Rebbe Nachman teaches, yes, that you can attribute, believe it or not, all the difficulties in the world, all the suffering, all of the setbacks, everything, you can blame it on the concealment of the light of the tzaddikim, who are the Rosh Bait. They're not able to properly function and run the world, the house. So this is something serious, and Rebbe Nachman, he warns us, open your eyes. Don't be constricted in what you're going through in life. Oh, I got to do this, it's because of that, it's because of these things. You have to look at the bigger picture. And he gives us a goal to look at as the maximum of the big picture, in that what can you blame? The concealment of the tzaddikim. That he wants to teach us in this lesson is the cause of all the other causes. In other words, you can blame A, blame B, blame C. Oh, I'm not healthy, that's why this happened to me in my life, and that's why this happened, and I acted like this, and I did like that, all types of mistakes, and the world is like this, and the economy went down because of these people, and they're at war and everything. Those are sub-reasons. The real reason Rebbe Nachman gives, he says, open your eyes, you will see it's because of a lack of clarity, lack of light. He illustrates this, Rebbe Nachman, in his conversations in the book Rebbe Nachman Wisdom, associated with this lesson 67, where he was talking about the death of Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, the Berdichever Rav, who Rebbe Nachman held in very, very, very high esteem. And when he passed away, Rebbe Nachman was totally devastated, broken. And this lesson 67 was a type of a eulogy that he revealed even before finding out about Rav Levi Yitzchak's passing. He knew about it through Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration. And Rav Nosson writes, tears were rolling down Rebbe Nachman's eyes. Nobody knew why. But Rebbe Nachman, he saw that this Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev was a big leader and was such a loss. And he explains there in the conversations that people claimed, he said that if anyone has eyes can see clearly that a candle has been totally extinguished in the world with the passing of this tzaddik, Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, that there's now as if a light in the candle has been totally extinguished. And he brings down the Gemara there that list when certain tzaddikim, certain Tanaim and Amoraim from the time of the Mishnah and the Gemara passed away. So the Gemara brings down that the brazim, the pipes Instead of water coming out, when they would pump water, blood started to come out. In other words, he said, Rebbe Nachman said, everyone has to feel some type of disorientation, some type of a suffering, some type of a tsar when the tzaddik passes away. This one feels it in that his bones are not sitting properly in his body. This one feels it in another type of malady. This one feels it in his parnasa and his money. But there is a darkness. So Rebbe Nachman again stresses the point, you can blame all the shortcomings in life due to the concealment and what's called a death. Not just a physical death, but a spiritual concealment, which is like a death of tzaddikim. So what to do? What to do to regain that connection? What to do to bring more of the light of the tzaddikim into the world for you and for the world at large? He gives one major, powerful advice. And that is, he says, to work at it in getting up at Chatzot, getting up at midnight, mourning over the destruction of the temple, which is also connected to the death of the tzaddikim. Like the Gemara says, that the passing of tzaddikim is twice as severe as the destruction of the temple. By you crying over the concealment, crying over what you're going through personally, and attributing it directly to the concealment of the tzaddikim due to false leadership, you merit, he teaches in this lesson 67 part 2, you merit that your eyes are opened to see who is clearly a false leader, one you should not turn to, and who are the true and where are the true leaders to follow and to connect to, and how to connect to them, thus removing the shade, the tzel, covering up the sunlight of the tzaddikim, and now shining onto you this light. Just like also physically, the sunlight has vitamin D, I think that's what they call it, that the sun rays give also a type of vitamin. The light of the tzaddikim has a healing power, and it brushes off on every area of your life, on physically, spiritually, and mentally. But again, the point is, you can attribute what you're going through due to the concealment of the tzaddikim, which makes your life dark, makes your davening dark, makes your connection to Hashem dark. You feel this darkness in every area spiritually, and then it brushes off also physically, family, psychologically, all types of all levels, and once you are aware and open to know what is the cause and finding the solution of the tzaddikim, zocheh lebinyana, you merit to your rebuilding, you merit to your personal Mashiach, you merit to see major miracles in life, major breakthroughs, and have a type of miniature redemption on a personal level.